The Caddie Who Knew Too Much, a story from Country Club Confidential. Dear readers, while the history books tell us the Dust Bowl ended in 1939 at one prestigious Los Angeles club, a different kind of drought threatened to turn fairways into graveyards of brown grass and red ink. What happened to the caddy who stumbled upon the desperate solution would become the whisper that haunts the locker room to this day. The Depression hit Cypress Hills Country Club like a shanked drive, unexpected and painful. By 1937, membership had dwindled from 300 to barely 180. Those who remained complained about the browning fairways and hardpan greens. California's unrelenting drought had made water both precious and political. Something had to give, or Cypress Hills would join the growing list of clubs that had padlocked their Spanish-style gates forever. Club president William Cross, a wealthy real estate developer better known as the Alligator for his cold-blooded, predatory nature, convened emergency meetings with select board members. A real estate developer with political connections that would make Al Capone envious, Cross had a reputation for solving problems through what he called direct means. "Gentlemen," he reportedly told the board, "a club without water is like a man without blood. Neither survives long." The solution, when it emerged, required absolute discretion, which is precisely where the club's most veteran caddy became both an asset and a liability. Danny Finnegan had looped at Cypress Hills since before anyone could remember. Lean and weathered with knowing green eyes, he moved through the course like a shadow, present when needed, invisible when not. Members spoke freely in his presence, considering him no more capable of betrayal than the bags he carried. His knack for discretion was so well known, members would joke, "Finnegan sees all, knows all, says nothing." On Tuesdays, the course was closed for maintenance. But on the third Tuesday of July, 1937, an unusual foursome assembled at the first tee. The Alligator was joined by City Water Commissioner Harold Mulray, County Supervisor Escobar, and Judge Hollis. They requested no caddies, but head groundskeeper Walsh called Finnegan anyway. "Follow them," Walsh instructed. "Not to carry, just to report what they say about the irrigation. They'll never notice you." By the 16th hole, drinks had loosened tongues. Standing behind a cypress tree, Finnegan overheard their plan. Water meant for the planned community of Owensbrook would be diverted to Cypress Hills through falsified engineering reports. "Those working people will be buying dust," Mulray laughed. Something changed in Finnegan's face. Stepping from the shadows, he cleared his throat. "Begging your pardon, gentlemen," he said, his voice steadier than his hands. "But folks put their life savings into those Owensbrook lots." Four heads snapped toward him. The Alligator's face darkened like a thunderhead. "You forget yourself, Finnegan," Cross said quietly. "People will lose everything, sir." Commissioner Mulray looked to Judge Hollis, who simply adjusted his tie. "This conversation never happened," Supervisor Escobar said. 3 days later, Finnegan was gone. His room was found empty, bed made with hospital corners. His locker contained only a forgotten rain hood. The yellow passbook from Golden State Savings and Loan he always carried was not among his effects. Theories flourished. The night bartender claimed the Alligator had given Finnegan an envelope bulging with cash. "Retirement package," he supposedly called it. Walsh insisted he saw Finnegan boarding the Pacific Coast Limited heading north. "Had his good suit on," he said. "Looked like a banker." Others whispered darker scenarios. The canyon alongside the 17th hole dropped 200 feet to jagged rocks. "A perfect accident site," some murmured. The water deal proceeded. By September, Cypress Hills boasted the greenest fairways in Southern California, while newspapers reported that the Owensbrook Development Company had filed for bankruptcy, citing unforeseen water access issues. The club survived. Membership soared in the post-war boom. Few new members knew about Finnegan, and fewer still about his disappearance. But the old-timers would fall silent when passing the 17th tee, some making a subtle sign of the cross before addressing their balls. 20 years later, a caddy named Donovan claimed to have received a postcard from Monterey. It showed Pebble Beach's famous 18th hole with a simple message: "The grass is always greener where there's water." Some saw this as proof Finnegan was still alive. Others insisted it was forgery or fantasy. In 1965, during clubhouse renovations, workers discovered a yellow Golden State Savings and Loan passbook wedged behind a locker. The name had been worn away. The last entry showing a balance of $832, dated July 18th, 1937. When a member attempted to claim it as a historical curiosity, head pro Santiago placed it in the trophy case instead. "Some things," he said, "belong to the club's memory." The alligator remained president until his death in 1962. In his will, he established the Cross Memorial Scholarship Fund for caddies seeking higher education. During the ceremony announcing the fund, his daughter Evelyn remarked that her father had always respected the loyalty of those who served the club. Her words were met with polite applause and averted eyes. And so, dear readers, we leave you with this final word of advice. In both golf and life, what lies beneath the surface matters more than what shows above the green. A water hazard may hide depths that even the most careful player cannot fathom, and some things, once submerged, are never meant to be found.